Point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
Retail traders have increasingly taken an interest in diversified assets as they try to find new, unique ways to make money.
Lonzo Ball is one of my favorite basketball card investments right now. I'm very high on Lonzo Ball because his card prices are pretty low, yet I think he's still going to go on to have a really great career, and I cited some data sources which back up that notion that he's going to have a great career.
Yeah, I mean, today we have a very vibrant physical trading card business, which most people are familiar with.
I want physical still.
Yeah, a lot of collectors are. We have 8 different apps as well, so people can collect and trade cards digitally also. So there's kind of both options, no matter how you want to collect.
You've combined it with a lot of things. There might be a piece of a bat on one of these cards. There might be an actual autograph on one of the cards.
Right. Yeah, that's a big chase. Yeah, we get game-worn jerseys after games, maybe after some of the World Series games. We cut those jerseys up. We put them into the cards.
Are they really more valuable when you cut them up than if you keep them whole?
Well, I mean, it depends. There's people that, hate to hear that we cut them up, but it's more accessible. It gives you a little piece. It's cheaper than buying the entire game-worn jersey. So, we insert those. We do a lot of autographs. Autographs is a big thing. We contract with, hundreds of athletes across all sports, different celebrity talent as well, and we insert autograph cards as a fun chase.
It's come back recently,
yes.
But still not to the levels of your heyday, which the heyday was the 80s and 90s.
Late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, we've seen the last 3 years in particular, though, we've seen the industry really pick up.
For Jimmy Mahan, former banker turned trading card shop owner, the pandemic has provided an unexpected boost to his Lexington, Kentucky small business.
They can't go to the game. They can't do anything but watch it on TV. And now in the pandemic, it just created a focus on it.
Former card collectors are getting back into the game, dusting off their old sets. And a new generation of modern collectors is emerging, looking for both quick flips and long-term investment.
People are definitely viewing trading cards as an asset similar to those commodities. The big difference between trading cards and, a lot of commodities is the fact that there's a finite amount of supplies.
After years of declines, people are changing the way they price cards, similar to rare art and wine. Trading cards are becoming an asset class that can be worth big money.
If you took the top 100 or so cards, 500 cards in trading cards, they have beat the S&P 500 by 153% over a decade. I mean, that's not a small sample size.
Just 2 weeks ago, Golden Auctions sold a Steph Curry rookie card for $611,000. A Giannis rookie card just sold for a record $1.8 million. Many collectors are putting together portfolios of cards across varying prices, as low as $100 and going well into the thousands. Warsop says the industry will make history this year with an expected value between $1.5 and $2 billion. The biggest in its history.
They just increase in value over time, particularly if that player performs on the court or on the field as a championship, for example. Those cards continue to increase in value.
Trading cards, from Pokemon to baseball, are skyrocketing in value. Some of the tiny pieces of cardboard far outpacing the stock market. And collectors, from moms to super rich DJs, are cashing in.
I pick up my phone and I'm on eBay and I'm just scrolling through.
DJ and music producer Steve Aoki says he was card obsessed as a kid, and during the pandemic he got back into it.
I'm still heavily involved in buying and not really selling so much.
How much have you spent so far?
Oh, already over $1 million.
The famous DJ turned card head is so into it, he's taken a job at eBay promoting the company's trading card marketplace.
My top dollar was this card right here. It's called the Illustrator, and this is the most desirable rare Pokemon card ever. I bought this for $420,000. This thing's 100% over 1.5.
We keep our cards in closets, under beds, and binders. You could definitely tell we are a card collecting family.
Janelle Pearsall started collecting a few years ago. When her husband had trouble finding cards at stores, she was bit by the collecting bug.
One of our most prized possession cards that we got out of a $10 pack was a Luka Doncic rookie card that we got graded and now sells for $800.
That's a 7,900% increase on her original investment, and it sparked even more collecting.
We spend about $1,200 to $2,000 a month on cards. My goodness, that's a lot of money.
The boxes of cards, she says, an investment for her children.
Holding on to some of these sealed boxes for my kids in the future will definitely be an asset for them.
Here's the Kobe.
And for collectors on a budget, alternative asset investment websites like Rally are making it easier to get in on the action. Brad Sherman signed up with a company that sells equity shares of coveted items like classic cars, rare timepieces, and trading cards.
This fractional share opportunity is a great way to invest and not take on the risk of owning the whole thing.
He and his 2 kids recently purchased 2 $25 shares of this original Pokemon card set. Current value, around $125,000.
It's very fun to do it with my dad.
And Dad's hoping the passion for Pokemon turns into a valuable lesson.
I hope to teach him that a $25 investment in a very rare Pokemon set that could be worth 5 times the investment.
Well, Kelly, thanks to the surge of live stream sports card sales on Instagram, TikTok, and focus sites, the sports card trading market is projected to grow from $14 billion in 2019 to nearly $100 billion by the year 2027. That's according to verified market research. Now, the largest live stream shopping platform is called Whatnot. It raised $225 million from Andreessen Horowitz and others with a valuation of $1.5 billion. Now, its auctions focus on sports cards, Pokemon, and Funko Pops, and their sales grew 200 times between July 2020 and July 2021.
I think the driving force behind it is, e-commerce just continues to grow, and obviously COVID set that off. And then I think, the second thing is that people are now turning online more for community and to hang out with people and to connect, particularly during times where human connection has been tough as people are stuck at home and aren't able to travel as much.
Another live stream auction startup called Loop raised $15 million to focus just on cards. It launched last October and says it's done tens of millions of sales for sports trading cards alone. It has raised $15 million so far. But it's not just startups that are cashing in on this latest card trading wave. One of the biggest sports memorabilia auction houses, called Golden, it says its index, which tracks sales of thousands of cards, is up over 1,000% since 2008.
Bubble? There is no bubble. Today on Sports Card Investor, the many reasons why sports cards will continue to go up.
The market for sports trading cards is booming.
Sports is a lot of people's escape. Why not invest in a player as opposed to investing in a stock?
The top 25 most expensive cards in history were sold in the last 2 years, including an Honus Wagner card sold for over $6.6 million.
A lot of us have been holding on these cards for 30 years, hoping someday that they'd be worth something, hoping someday I could say I told you so.
Big-time investors like hedge funds are also in on it. They've begun buying trading cards as alternatives to equities.
It's culture as an asset. It's nostalgia as an asset.
So, how did trading cards balloon into a multi-billion-dollar industry? And why are both everyday people and big-name investors turning to trading cards as investment assets?
In front of us we have a bunch of cards, one of them being as early as the 1934, a famous card called the Gaudi, all the way down to Honus Wagner and Joe DiMaggio. If we believe that they are authentic, we'll send them in to get graded. One is the lowest grade you can receive, that is as terrible as it comes. There's a crease right down the entire middle of it. Corners are all paled up, edges are all dinged up. This card is probably around $100 to $200 card raw, but once you get it graded, it's real, it's authenticated, it's now a 1. We now know the value of it's around $800 to $1,000. To know that its value is worth X or Y because of its grade is what really turned this hobby into what it is now, is the stock market.
One of the things that my mom always said that I couldn't really have an answer for was, that card's not worth $20 until you get someone to give $20 for it. And that's no longer true.
Bert Duveau, Jesse Duveau, and Jeffrey Ferraro are the owners of Fresh Pulls, a trading card shop located in the outskirts of Boston. The three friends opened the store in May after making a small fortune auctioning cards online.
We did $2 million in sales. We should break the $3 million mark within the next month by the end of September.
Since the trio started their business in March of 2020, they've all left their jobs in the hospitality industry and seen their material circumstances transformed.
I used to work 70 hours a week in a kitchen and be absolutely miserable. Now I can work 150 hours here, and it doesn't seem like 150 hours.
Sports cards have existed since the early 1900s. But in the 1980s and 1990s, prices for newer cards cratered after manufacturers flooded the market.
Ken Griffey Jr.'s his rookie card is known for being one of the most mass-produced cards, and it's just not valuable.
The pandemic also triggered a string of deals and acquisitions that have shaken up the industry. Earlier this year, the investment firm the Chernin Group, along with celebrities like Mark Cuban and Kevin Durant, invested $40 million in one of the industry's best-known auction houses, Golden Auctions. This July, Golden was acquired by the investment group Collectors Holdings.
It's an exciting time for everybody here at Golden. It's an exciting time for the industry as a whole.
Also in July, Blackstone acquired a majority stake in the grading company Certified Collectibles Group, which values CGC at more than $500 million.
These people have people to tell them where to invest their money. They're not telling them to invest billions of dollars into the card market for it to just collapse.
Right now I'm holding two of my most favorite cards. They both are a 1997 Kobe Bryant Precious Metal Gems, the red version. There are 100 of them in the world. This is a PSA 5.5, this one's a PSA 4.5. This card right here I bought for $13,000 is probably worth between $160,000 and $200,000.
Lior Avidar was an avid card collector when he was younger, especially for Kobe Bryant cards, but he didn't return to the hobby until 2016.
I went on eBay, and the first box of cards that I went and looked for was the EX2000. I had never gotten that Kobe Bryant green card that I really wanted when I was young. And I saw that there were different price points. Like some were selling for $30, and there was one that was selling for $3,000. And I was like, why is one $30 and why is one $3,000?
Avidar, who has a background in finance, saw opportunity in the inefficient way in which pricing was determined.
And I remember seeing that the probability, the expected value was positive, meaning if I kept buying the boxes and probabilistically I will get the Kobe Bryant card and then I sell it on eBay, I'll make $10 to $20 a box.
After 5 years of buying and selling cards, Avidar turned his passion into a business. In March of 2020, Avidar launched Alt, which aims to be a sort of Coinbase for collectibles, where users can buy and sell cards just like more conventional assets. Alt brands itself as a modern financial institution that allows people to invest in things they're passionate about, just like stocks.
When you log into Alt, it feels a lot like Coinbase or Robinhood or Fidelity. In real time, you can actually see how much your portfolio is worth.
Similar to how Zillow uses its Zestimate figure to track home prices, Alt created the Alt value to track card prices.
The number one question when people start getting into cards is how much are my cards worth? The whole point of the alt value is to give people confidence around the values and just increase some of the transparency that exists in the ecosystem but just hasn't been brought out and democratized on the internet so far.
Alt is just one of a new crop of digital services catering to the rapidly growing trading card market. Collectible and Dibs allow users to buy and trade fractional shares of cards. Star Stock brands itself as a stock market for sports cards.
All right, guys, good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck.
Fresh Pulls has made most of its money by hosting a relatively new type of online auction called case breaking.
Patriot, Julian Edelman, and a kid reporter. Nothing there to start.
Case breaking is essentially gambling on unboxing videos. A break involves groups of collectors co-investing in a case inside of which are packs of cards, and then watching a live stream of the unboxing.
Peyton, my boy, man. Rookie! Nice card. That's how we start off. First box, Mojo, baby. So there's a $2,000 box of NBA basketball. 10 of us spend $200, and we each get 3 random teams. So let's say you have the Celtics, the Knicks, and the Wizards. I open up the box. Every Celtics, Knicks, and Wizards cards in that entire box all goes to you.
Days later, collectors receive the cards they won in the mail.
2 packs left, 2 packs left.
One of the things that people asked us at first, like, why would somebody pay you to open their cards? And it's not that they're paying us to open the cards, they're having an experience. Like if you take the pack home and open it by yourself in your bedroom, you're alone. Like when you do it with us, you're in a room full of your friends.
In the grand scheme of things, it's a casino. You're coming in here and gambling. Most of the people in this world love sports. And fantasy football and gambling. Like, those are the things that aren't going anywhere.
And I think the number one best investment from the 2018 draft class, Landry Shamet, the point guard out of Wichita State. He has a lot of promise.
And Lewis Thorpe for the Twins. Pink Velocity autograph, rated rookie auto for Daniel Miller and the Minnesota Twins. There you go, Dan.
Sports card collecting is seeing a surge in interest during the coronavirus crisis, and one corner of the pastime is experiencing especially notable growth: online breaking. Sometimes known as ripping, this relatively new hobby involves opening a pack, box, or case of cards on an internet broadcast and sharing the results on camera. Collectors buy into the break and get a distribution of the cards. Breaking has become a service offered by many sports card shops, though sometimes it's done by entrepreneurs working from home. Streaming videos of the action foster a sense of community for enthusiasts who cheer each other on in the chat room and interact with the person opening the packs of cards on screen, who's known as the breaker. Sometimes your spot in the break yields a card worth only pennies. Other times you hit it big, really big.
Holy shit. Holy shit, this is a sign. We're starting out with an auto. We are starting out with an auto. I'm telling you right now, that means something.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh no!
Now there's very few products that are built to be collected by the set. It's all about the hits, the patch cards, the autographs, the rookies.
A group break is when a number of people can join in on a single box or a case of boxes that maybe they otherwise wouldn't be able to afford individually or on their own, or they're chasing a specific team. So let's say someone just wants to collect Dodgers stuff, right? They can join a baseball group break on our website, and they can just buy the Dodgers for like a fixed price. So then we unbox everything. Whatever the Dodgers cards that are pulled, if any, and whatever autographs and parallels and whatnot, that all goes to that one person who bought the Dodgers. Rated rookie autograph, Gavin Lux for Jorge and the Dodgers.
It's only been a few years now where the card companies have sort of embraced case breaking. For some reason, because they just couldn't understand it. But now it's probably 60% of their inventory they produce goes to case breakers.
What happened with the NFL? What'd they tell you? Go fly a kite or something? What happened with them?
We had a 50-year partnership with the NFL, and they chose to go in a different direction.
What direction is that?
With one of our competitors, unfortunately.
They did,
yeah. So disappointing news for us. We are a long-term partner, but, need to make their decisions. And
I called you a stone cold killer yesterday when we were talking about this deal, because I thought it was so, from a deal perspective, this is like deal making in a remarkable way. You managed to get this license with the MLB, swoop in before Topps was able to actually do their SPAC and also get their own deal in place. They'd had a deal in place for decades, and now you're buying Topps. So let's just reverse a little bit and talk about how you even decided to do this and strategically how you thought about it. Because I have to assume you went into it thinking, okay, if I get the license first, then I could go make a separate deal with Topps.
Well, let me first, good morning, Happy New Year's. And I want to say, I think of myself more as a sweet, nice, kind individual than a stone cold killer. But, the way we really think about this is what's in the best interest of the fan, in this case, the collector, and also the sports properties that we work with. So we're always thinking about how can we reinvent a business that's going to be better for all the constituencies involved.
Kathy Wood on Squawk today reiterated her view that not only are we in a recession, but we are going to be looking at a series of month-on-month declines in inflation. Take a listen.
We believe we are in a recession. The durable goods orders we just saw, really we're seeing the strength there because of activity being attracted to the U.S., a flight to safety. That's why our dollar's been going up as well. Nonetheless, we think we are in a recession.
I think it's a time to be cautious. And I think that if you're running a risk-based business, it's a time to think more cautiously about your risk box, your risk appetite. I think you have to expect that there's more volatility on the horizon. Now, that doesn't mean for sure that we have a really difficult economic scenario, but in the distribution of outcomes, there's a good chance we could have a recession.
Dealers are scared. Breakers are scared. Suppliers are scared. Distributors are scared. Content creators are scared. Investors are scared.
How much did you lose? Or did you win?